Good day, everyone. This is Scott Rice from Crime Talk, and today we're here to talk with Scott the Raja Richter about his year in review for the Big Jackpot, his new projects, and we're going to be asking subscriber questions as well. So welcome.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Of course, this is always fun.
It's like my yearly interrogation.
Well, let's get to it. So the first question obviously has to be then is how has the pandemic affected you and the Big Jackpot?
Wow. I mean, that's like a loaded question. Yeah, it's been crazy this year. We had, right in the get-go in March, we had our first cruise, we had our sixth cruise planned. And it was supposed to be like the last week of March, and that was right when the pandemic hit and was starting to, go. And people were like, "Are we canceling? Are we going?" And then all these, images of, the boats being quarantined and people getting stuck on boats for weeks. And I was like, I don't think this is going to happen. And finally they canceled everything, and the whole world, basically shut down for 9 weeks.
Yeah, I remember. It was crazy.
So it was. And we also had some other visits to some new casinos. We were supposed to go to Harrah's and Recon in San Diego, and we had our Slot Fest East big event. We had to cancel in Atlantic City. That was in April or May of that year or this year, and yeah, it's been crazy. And then now with traveling and all the restrictions, and in the casinos with a lot of casinos, it's every other slot machine, and it's just like it just doesn't stop. But the good thing is we still going, plugging away, and taking safety precautions all the time, wearing masks, trying to wash my hands. But I still want to and fans and people come visit. I like to say hi and take pictures, and I also believe you got to live. I'm not gonna roll up and not live my life. But like I said, I am washing my hands a lot more in the casinos, and
Sure.
just being a little bit more careful. But but you know what? I'm a gambler, so I guess this is like taking a risk.
Absolutely. Got to take it was a good risk, and you can't just sit around and wait. And it sounds like you've been doing what you have to do to make sure you can go play those slots.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's very important to keep playing them.
Yeah. So how about? Have you noticed a lot of people trying to, what's the word I'm looking for, scam your fans or try to use fake accounts related to the big jackpot? Yeah, so the last couple of months, that's become like a real big problem for us. Before it wasn't such a big issue. People, but lately they're getting a lot more sophisticated and looking a lot more professional. But the biggest thing is they usually have they don't spell my name right ever. So what are some of the variations?
RAJAA or RAAAJA or Scott SCOTTT or and like I tell all our fans, just report them. You don't need to send them to us. You don't need to keep telling us every time you get another fake profile. We know, we report them. Unfortunately, a lot of times Facebook will tell me, hey, I send it in. They say it doesn't violate our terms. I'm like, I don't know then. But it's not us. Always know if anybody asks you for money, says send me $200 to win $5,000 back. It's not us.
It's not you. And is that what they're asking for? Is
it's crazy. I would never ask anyone to give me their credit card info because they want a prize. So you don't have to notify us. And like I said, if you get anything that's not spelled correctly, doesn't look professional, doesn't says official, this is the official,
Yeah, I know you send out I think quite a bit of stuff, but you never charge anybody for that, right?
No, we don't ask for any money because you won.
Yeah. So it's been obviously, we talked about the pandemic, crazy year. It's affected the Big Jackpot. How are the Twins dealing with the change in the world, so to speak?
Yeah, so it's been for them. It's been different, especially with school for the first place. Last year, you guys remember Jolene, used to be Joe. It was coming, decided she wanted to be a girl. So it's been challenging because a lot of times the therapy, telehealth is on Zoom now, not in person. And I just, while it may work for some people on Zoom to see a therapist or get help, for her, it definitely does not work. She needs to be in person and in front of somebody. And otherwise, on Zoom, nobody's paying attention.
I think a lot of people realize you don't need to fly everywhere for a meeting, but there's still something about having that human interaction with people that will never be completely replaced by Zoom.
Yeah, no, and it was also exciting over this. Well, in October, they both were working together for a couple of weeks at a haunted house, and she had her first job.
Nice.
Michael's been working on and off and did Baskin Robbins through the summer, so he was occupied.
Is Michael's still playing hockey, or has that been
so he was so it stopped for a while, then it got going again, and then they were going, and then they just stopped it again in November, and now they're skating half the team. They can have 10 kids on the ice for 45 minutes, and they're saying it's supposed to resume next year in January. I mean, eventually everything's going to resume, I would assume.
Sure, eventually, hopefully.
But yeah, no, it's definitely been tough, and I think knock on wood, they're not seniors this year. They have one more year, but this would be a tough year for kids. Like if you're last year especially, and then this year, like if you're trying to figure out colleges and do stuff because there's no colleges to go to and trips, and I mean they pretty much not even talking about college. Like last year they were talking about college and they had like trips and start planning.
Sure.
And this year they haven't really done anything. Michael's at the local college via their online is on a couple of college classes, so he's getting some extra credit for that and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I feel bad. I mean, I can't even imagine having little kids and having like a little kid wondering like, why do I have to wear a mask, Mom? I'm 2 years old or 3 years old, and like, why can't I go to school today? Where I mean, it's I think it's hard, on the kids, and they've had unfortunately some kids at their school, even a small school, and it's affecting kids horribly. Some kids have taken their lives, and this is bad. We've got to get back to normalcy, and especially with the kids, because they just don't understand it. At least like we've experienced life, we've done so much, but a lot of these people, younger kids, haven't done anything. They don't know anything, and it's gonna be tough. This is gonna shape. I mean, just think about like sports in the future, and I mean, it's just gonna shape the whole world. I mean, kids
absolutely.
who are hoping to get noticed this year for their senior year in high school to go into the draft or a good college, and they're not even playing, and they're out of shape now, or they're not. Gyms are closed. I mean, it's just a disaster.
Yeah, and it seems to be so random that it doesn't affect everyone equally.
Yeah.
So obviously you're still on YouTube, which is kind of your mothership, so to speak, but I've noticed kind of a push to Facebook in the last couple of months. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so Facebook's been doing incredible for us. I mean, we got I think in the month of October, November, we got like 40,000 new followers on Facebook. It's just exploded for us, and the thing I like about Facebook, especially like on the live, when I do my live play and stuff, YouTube, you don't know who anybody is. I mean, obviously some people because it's the real person, they use their real name and they have a picture, but there's no profile. You really don't know who it is. Obviously anybody can make a fake Facebook profile, but for the most part, most of the people on Facebook are real people, their real identity, and they're a lot nicer. You don't have as many trolls to deal with and headaches, and I just have found that like the Facebook, and and the growth is there. I mean, it's crazy. I'm getting almost 3 times the views a day now on Facebook than I do on YouTube. I mean, it's just incredible, and I think Facebook is a lot more innovative. They're coming out with products a lot faster than YouTube, and it definitely shows.
Wow. Well, hopefully that success will continue. How about the Big Jackpot app? What's going on there?
Had a terrific year there. Lots of new teams, new people have joined the app. We have some new games coming out. We spent the last half of the year building a lot of like tournaments and different things that people could do on the app. More interaction. We also came out with table games, which a lot of people have enjoyed, like Blackjack and poker and stuff like that. And those games really don't have the cost associated with some of our slots. People buy a lot of upgrades. Yeah. The table games, really, it's for fun. You like playing Blackjack, to play. There's no upgrades or a lot of extra things to buy in those games. So I think a lot of people have really enjoyed that. We have an all-time high of daily people playing on the app, so it's been great.
Wow.
It keeps growing, and I think it's a great thing. I think this coming year we'll have some new games come out that are going to be some exciting game. Kind of like, in all honesty, our first original game we ever came out with on the app has been our most popular game the whole time because it had so much built into it. But on the roadmap this year and some of the games that are in development, a couple of them, well, one of them for sure is pretty exciting. Like it has a lot of twists and different pieces in it.
When do you think that may be coming out?
Maybe March, April.
Okay.
In there. So it takes a while. People don't realize like there's a lot of cost in development and stuff and building these games, and then once they're ready to go, testing them, and you have to build engines and to run them, and getting the numbers just right. The mathematical part of it. It's a big process, and then when you have thousands of people on the app every day, just keeping the app running is a process. So.
Oh, I could imagine. I mean, and building that stuff, it always takes longer than you think it will, for sure. So you mentioned earlier you get kind of overwhelmed by people notifying you of the scammers or things like that. But how do you reply to so many messages that you get on so many different platforms? How do you even keep that straight?
Yeah, no, we're on so many platforms. So we have YouTube where we started. Sure. Then we have Facebook. Then we have Twitter. We have Twitch, which we haven't used in a while, which we used during the pandemic when we were doing some live online gaming. And then we have TikTok now. We have I have my Snapchat and Instagram. And I think we have a Pinterest too. It's tough. So one thing that a lot of people don't know is obviously we have a staff and a team.
Sure.
So probably I try to reply sometimes, and I'll look at comments and different things. And we just started a new one, Ask the Raj Anything, which I've been replying to those comments and stuff because it's asking me on Instagram. But for the most part, it's probably one of our staff people that are replying to people and stuff.
Sure. No, I mean it takes a lot of time to do that, but I know it means a lot to the subscribers and fans out there when they get a response.
Answer. I mean, some of the questions, when are you going live next? Well, if every one of our followers or subscribers asked us that, I wouldn't get anything done all day because I would be replying to everyone. So like that's the stuff that they can answer quickly.
How many subscribers do you have as of right now?
We're right at around 200 on YouTube is 290,000.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Wow.
So it's been growing, and Facebook is almost 150,000.
Wow, that's great, and that's really grown fast.
Like I said, Facebook this year, I mean, it just exploded.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So, in all your spare time, I've heard you're going to start another channel. When are you going to find time to do that? And tell me what it's about.
Yeah. So I used to day trade a lot back in the day and real heavily, and I kind of took a break from it because it is very stressful. Well, it was very stressful. It's still stressful, but I've toned it down a little what I do. But so the new channel is called Raja Makes Money, which we've already launched. We almost have 4,000 subscribers on that on YouTube. And I think Facebook has almost 11 or 1,200 already. And I've been doing it as a live show in the afternoons after the market closes. And sometimes on Sunday nights, I've been going live discussing what's coming up for the week.
Sure.
But basically, starting when this video comes out, starting on January 4th or 5th, whatever that Monday is, the first week of January. So right now we're just practicing, and people have been noticing improvements as we, and I'm just learning what the audience likes and what they're into and what to do and stuff. But basically, I'm starting with $5 million in cash.
Okay.
$5 million in cash in a trading account, and we're going to be trading, and people can watch what I'm doing live every day. And it's going to be a lot of excitement. I mean, we've had some swings already, up 200,000, down 130,000, up 80, down 60. It moves. I think so far we're up about, in the last couple of weeks, just, goofing around with it, I should say.
Just trying to figure it out.
We're up almost 400,000, 500,000. So
wow,
it's doing good. People can also hear how I think and why I think like that. But it's going to be exciting. My goal is, minimum, I want to double the 5 million. So my goal is to end the year next year on Raja Makes Money with at least 15 million. But minimum, we're going to double it to 10 million.
Wow. That's great. You are a gambler, that's for sure.
Especially for all my Big Jackpot fans, if you like gambling, even if it's not a slot machine, this is a lot more movement and excitement because these are big numbers. This isn't I hit $1,200, boom. This is I'm up 200,000 today.
Well, that sounds exciting. So, what's the channel's name again?
Raja Makes Money.
All right, and you're going to be on YouTube and Facebook?
Yeah, so we're streaming together in the afternoons every day after the market closes.
All right, that sounds exciting. Definitely have to catch that. So it looks like So I've noticed a couple of times people have been taking over your channel sometimes. What's that all about?
Yeah, so there's some other slot players that gamble at the same levels that I do and stuff. And sometimes it's nice just to take a break. Like when you're constantly gambling and in casinos, and especially when I was down in Florida and then Dominican Republic, 6 straight days of gambling, and it's just like people don't realize like it's a lot of work. You have a little camera in front of you, and you see like 2 or 3 little messages at a time, and there's a lot going on, and it's a lot of work. Like people, it isn't like I just walk in the casino, start gambling, and there's this magic camera that's on, and it has an unlimited battery, and it's like people don't realize that there's a lot of work that goes into these YouTube, Facebook channels and different stuff, and so I've got some friends. So one people I've seen is Kevin, the Click Father. He's been on it, and they took over my Facebook, and one night, and we also have some videos from a guy David Wong from the and he has a group in Atlantic City, the David Wong group. And he's been doing some really large group pulls, for like, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. So I'm like, I'd love to share those videos with my users, and, it's great content. It's the games that my users like to play that nobody's really seen these videos. So, I'm like, hey, come on over. And, I've talked to a few other people also who are, and a lot of people are like, I don't really want to do a YouTube channel, but I'd love for people to, see what I play, and hey, if somebody, and a lot of times too, like some people I've had on when I was in Florida, I had a guy who was playing Kilimanjaro, at 20, 40, $100 a spin, and it's a game I just never play, just not into that game, and it was fun. We had a half hour of I don't know, almost 1,000 free spins on Kilimanjaro. It's I'm happy. It's not all about me.
Sure.
It's about everyone. Like, we're a slot community. I want everybody to have fun, enjoy it. And, obviously I'm happy, and I promote other channels all the time that are, smaller scale. I mean, obviously my fans would probably be like, if I put someone on who hijacked my channel, betting 50 cents a spin, they may not, they'd wonder what's going on. But yeah, I mean, and nothing against, always, like I tell people, spend what you want to lose and what you're comfortable with. Not, this isn't a battle of who can spend more money or, lose more faster in the casino. Just have fun, and like I said, happy to, showcase these people. And
well, I've seen it when Kevin has taken over your channel, and that was fun, and I'll have to catch some others as well. How about personally? How has kind of COVID affected you personally, your business?
Yeah, it's been definitely. Personally, just one, for starting with, obviously the twins and my life, and different things I'm doing, and going places, and obviously with the clubs and bars and the restaurants, and I feel horrible sometimes. I honestly, I've almost a few times thought about not gambling anymore, and because I feel bad. We have like the one club, a couple of hundred people not working again, and not going to get to work for another, 7 weeks, first time 9 weeks. I feel bad that, just because I can afford to go travel elsewhere or do things, I sometimes I feel bad. I feel like, here I am losing money, and I have, 300 people that aren't able to work, and it's not my fault. I back in the day, I tried to help everyone, and, I like to help people and do things, but at the end of the day, I'm only one person, and I have my kids to take care of, and my staff as best as I can, but I have obligations, and I also just can't stop. Like I said, I can't save the world. Obviously, our government can't save the world, and it's their job, to save the world, not mine. And without getting into politics or different things of how I really feel, like I said, I'm gonna continue on. I don't want to let the fans, the family down. Like family to me, all the the fans and the subscribers, and I can't let them down. I'm not gonna. And the other thing, if I stop gambling, then all the big jackpot people would be unemployed. I mean, so it's a chain effect, and knock on wood, hopefully these vaccinations work. The world figures this problem out, and 6 months, a year from now, this is a thing that we just talk about.
Well, I know I have tuned in occasionally, not occasionally, but when I tune in, for the lives, and you're just sitting there and you kind of worrying about the world. Your show, it's relaxing and it's kind of fun, and it takes your mind off kind of the rest of the world. So yeah, I certainly hope you don't stop doing that. And I think there's a lot of subscribers out there and viewers that hope you don't do that as well.
Yeah, and I get that a lot. I mean, a lot of people, it gets their mind off of the world. They're not working in problems. And also, the biggest one, which is every time, and there's a lot of times, sometimes you have a losing night at the casino, or you just, I don't know, you just get tired. I mean, like I said, it's a lot of work, going to the casino, getting set up, music's on, Wi-Fi doesn't work. It's a lot, and sometimes and it's not like this pays the bills for me, or it's not, this income isn't it doesn't even cover my gambling, and it doesn't some slot channels just they make a lot of money doing this, and this pays their bills, and they turn it into a business. For me, this isn't what I gamble in 10 minutes of spinning is what I make for the whole month off of YouTube. Sure. So it's like sometimes and then I'll get these messages from people, you got me through cancer. I was every time I'm getting my chemo treatments, I'm watching you, and I mean, there's a few times that I was ready and done, and I get those messages, and I said, you know what, I'm going to continue on.
Well, that's good.
There's other people that are way stronger than me out there in the world. I've got to keep up with them and keep going.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fun to watch. It's relaxing. Yeah. It's kind of fun, living vicariously through you, playing those big pulls, and I can see why people really enjoy it. It's fun. It's fun to watch, and because you never know when you're going to win big.
No, you never know. Sometimes it takes forever.
Except we're not at all, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, 2020 is coming to a close. What plans do you have for the big jackpot in 2021?
So I have endless big plans. The biggest problem of the big plans is which of those big plans can we actually accomplish or still do? So on the horizon is hopefully things start getting better. Mm-hmm. On the horizon is definitely going to be a Slot Fest Caribbean down in the Hard Rock Dominican Republic, probably in March or April. I'd like to also go back to Vegas and have a Slot Fest West. Now that we have the Monarch here in Colorado open with a 500 room hotel and stuff, once everything in Colorado is back to a little bit normal, I'd like to do a Slot Fest Midwest this summertime.
That'd be fun.
People. My big 50th birthday is coming up this July.
Oh, that's right. The big 5-0.
We've had that the last couple of years in Reno, and they've invited me back to host my 50th, my birthday bash, which is the big 50. So that could be, that's coming up. And of course, I mean, we'll continue going to casinos and stuff. But those would be those, and obviously once cruises start, everybody wants to go back on a cruise boat. Like I said, I don't want to be the first cruise out of the port. I want to know that there's a few weeks of sailing. Everybody, there's no issues, and then I'll hit the boats. But I don't want to be stranded or stuck at port
stuck at
for
sea
2 weeks or I remember those videos when people, those first few cruises, when they were coming back in San Francisco. I mean, they were treating those people like they were aliens.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't let them come in, and
it was crazy.
Flying food out there and dropping it on the boat. Yeah, it was crazy for sure.
So, so those are the things on the horizon. I can't really say there's anything incredibly huge because we don't know day to day. I can't even announce anything, which is kind of it's hard because we plan in advance and
months in advance, right? And now you can't, what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, so
it's crazy time. A lot of your fans have written in and sent questions, and these are some good ones. First, what was your first job as a kid?
Taco Bell. So
really? All right.
Was my first job actually working for somebody. I've always been hustling and making money, but my first job working for somebody was Taco Bell when I was 15. I started at.
All right. Was that the last time you worked for somebody else?
I worked for 4 people in my life, but Taco Bell was the first. When I was putting in 45, 60 hours a week at 15 years old. And I was going to manage Taco Bell. I mean, when I was 15, I already had it planned out. I was going to be the head GM of a Taco Bell by the time I was 21. The 4 jobs I ever had in life working for other people was Taco Bell. Then I went to Little Caesars Pizza.
Okay.
And then I went to Egg Roll King, which was like a Chinese delivery. So I did delivery and takeout and took answered the phone because nobody spoke English there but me. And then the other job I had was Embassy Suites because I did the restaurant arts program through the high school and college. So I worked at Embassy Suites I was doing the brunch on Sundays, the buffet. I was cooking all the omelets, and I did dishes there during the week, and sous chef, and just different stuff in the kitchen.
Was there a defining moment when you had one of those jobs that you thought to yourself, I'm going to do this on my own, or I'm not going to work for somebody again?
I think it was about when I was, well, and after that I went to Park City, Utah, and I worked for my cousin. He had a steakhouse that growing up I had visited and stuff. So so I did work, I guess, so 5 jobs. But I finally, after high school and everything, I was like, I had my vending machine business I started during high school and had while I was working these jobs. And I was just like, the vending machine business was growing, and I said, put my efforts into this. And,
sure.
I didn't know at that moment with the vending machine, I didn't know, I was going to be owning restaurants and bars or, one day. But I definitely knew I probably wasn't going to be working for someone.
That's great. Another question from the fans. How much money are you comfortable losing in a single night or trip to the casino?
As little as possible. I never want to lose money. But usually to put on a show, it takes between $10,000 and $20,000 a night.
Wow.
To last for 2-3 hours of live slot play, and because we usually do a half hour on Facebook, and then up to 2 hours on YouTube, plus sometimes more Facebook or Patreon plays. So I have to plan on 10 to 20 grand, and Vegas is even more expensive, but locally and or smaller casinos, it's still 10 to 20 grand a night.
Yeah. Wow. And you're going up there a couple nights a week.
Oh yeah, it gets expensive if you're losing.
It's an expensive week for sure. Next fan question. Can you ever see yourself not gambling, and if so, under what circumstances?
I could hang it all up tomorrow.
Be a lot less expensive.
I am gambled out now. No, I enjoy. I think what actually is the hardest, especially like in Vegas or where they have the machines I play a lot of times. A lot of the machines I play are for the fans because that's what they want, and they don't want to see me play Black Widow all day long. Sure. The game I personally enjoy the most and still enjoy is like Black Widow, Golden Goddess, and those are my games. It's what you want to play. So a lot of times it's playing these different games, and like I'll play after the cameras are off. The thing is there's some channels out there that are just doing this for the money. And the difference is, I'm doing this because I'm a gambler. So, sure. Like, when the cameras are off, people come. I love when people see me in the casino at like 3, 4 in the morning. They're like, "Oh my God, Raja, what are you doing here? I watch you all the time." And I'm like, I told people I'm coming here for like 3 months. When did you watch me last? But people always find me in the casino and then they hang out watching and love it and to see it. But I'm a gambler. I'll always be doing some kind of gambling. Obviously, if I didn't have the YouTube going on, I wouldn't be in the casinos as often. Sure. But I would still be going to casinos.
Yeah. So this is a really good question. I think a lot of people would want to know this. So how do you manage juggling business ventures, gambling, and parenthood as a single parent and finding quality time with the family?
It's tough.
When do you sleep?
No, it's tough. The one thing is the twins are 17 years old now, so they're older and they drive and can get around. Earlier on, when we first started the Big Jackpot, and T still is around a lot for him, but T was tremendous help, especially like on my longer trips and helping with the boys and taking care of them, making sure they get around and and stuff, especially after their mother passed. When their mom was around, it was easy because they had their mom if I was out of town. But after she passed, T was a tremendous help with them. And the other thing, I tell people. First of all, I'm always there if my kids call or even if I'm live or my Joe doesn't really bother me ever, but Michael will start messaging me and getting a hold of me when I'm live and different stuff. I'd stop my whole show if there was a problem or they need me. And the other thing, let's be honest, they're teenagers. They're 17 years old. If I was sitting at home right now with them and it was 8 o'clock at night and I'm sitting at home and they're on their computers playing games, they don't care that dad's home. So when your kids are 2 or 3, 5, 7, 8, they want their dad or mom around or parents around, and they need you. Yeah. My kids, and I think most teens, and knock on wood, terrific kids. They don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't vape. They listen to me. I don't have any fear when I'm out of town. I don't think, oh my God, he has a car. He's having he's driving around drunk or he's having a party. Or my kids aren't going to do that. And I know that, and it's not like they're hiding it from me. I have a great relationship with them. But honestly, if I was home 7 nights a week with them, I would just be driving them insane.
That's true. Teenagers want to spend as little time with their parents as they can at that age.
Yeah.
Then they go off to college, and then they realize, hey, I need to call somebody how to figure out this stuff.
You'll get some people who will try and troll or shame you, or oh my God, how could you leave your kids for it's like my kids are 17. Next year they're gonna be 18. Then what? How could you leave when your kids are 25? How could you leave your kids? It's like these are grown adults. They're
very mature.
It's a different world now that we live in, and it's not like the old days where all you had was a house phone, and if your kid needed you, these they're on cell phones and iWatches and the car. I know exactly where their car is. If there's a problem, I can pull up on my phone where the vehicle is immediately, and it's a different world. And like I said, I trust me, my family always comes first if there's any issues.
No doubt in my mind. So do you have any special arrangements with your hosts on what comps you get at the casinos you go to?
Not really. I mean, most of your casinos at my level of play, or if you have a $100,000 line of credit, they're usually to give you between $5,000 and $10,000 in free play, and that's pretty standard. And one thing that I play into my line. I don't open a line for $100,000 and play dollar a spin for $200 and say, all right, thank you. I'm a gambler, so I play into it. What I get is what normal gamblers would get of my level of play.
Sure.
And it actually hurts because I like casinos are like, we really can't give you a lot more because we already give you so much in free play. So I don't get the advantage of all the perks and where like some slot channels, they're giving them $1,000 to come tonight and go live. I don't really have that ability just because of my level of play. I'm not going to travel across the country to go to a casino for $500.
Sure.
And risk $100,000 in their casino. Like if I'm coming to your casino and going to play $100,000 and risk big money, I'm gonna otherwise I can just go to Vegas it's just as close.
Yeah, exactly.
Or closer. So I don't get anything special. Obviously casinos where I play more at would give me, well, not right now, but in the past, show tickets, or, I'm looking forward to, when the Raider Stadium does open in Vegas.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I can guarantee you that some of the casinos I play at will make sure if I want to go, I'll be there. I used to go to the UFC fights, the boxing matches. Yep. I think even we went to a boxing match, and they were like five. We
went to the McGregor fight, the UFC.
It was boxing.
Mayweather McGregor.
Yeah,
fight.
Those were like $5,000 tickets they gave us.
Yeah, they were beautiful tickets.
Yeah, so we had a good time.
It was great.
So the casinos, obviously, those are perks, but that's because of my play. They didn't. That fight was a couple of years ago before my channel was much of anything. So it's not like they go, "Oh my God, you're a YouTube celebrity. Here's 2 good tickets for you." It's no, you lost a lot of money in our casino here, so whenever you want, keep coming.
Yeah. So has gambling affected you negatively in any way?
I don't think, like I said, I'm a gambler, so I'm going to gamble no matter what. Earlier on when I was younger, I used to probably play beyond my means. Where, back, when this is like when I'm 21, 22, I may have lost, $2,000-$3,000 that I didn't really have to lose at that time. I've never lost more than I don't have. But, first of all, this is 30 years ago, so it's a whole different world. And
sure.
$3,000 then may be the equivalent of $50,000 today, or 30. It's hard to say. But I've never jeopardized my payroll or paying my mortgage or my rent or my utilities or an employee or anything like that. I've always been on top of it so that like I said, and like I always tell my fans, gamble within your means. If don't spend what you don't want to lose, and spend. Nowadays it doesn't affect me at all. Obviously I have the same emotions as anyone. If I walk out of the casino ahead, I'm happier. If I walk out of the casino losing, I don't walk out with a big smile and say it was the best experience of my life. I lost. But the other thing I look at sometimes is, what am I really, there's times too I look at it and I say, what am I really playing for? A lot of, you can go lose $50,000, $100,000 pretty quickly. To win 50 or 100 grand is pretty hard in a casino. And at the end of the day, if I walk out of the casino and, there's nothing that I'm going to win that's going to change my life. Even if I hit that, the big grands for $130,000 or $40,000, $200,000, it's going to be nice, but it's not like I'm going to go, oh my God, I hit the grand. I'm going to go buy 8 more cars. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Where I could see the people, who go with $100 and they're betting $1 a spin and have the same odds to hit that grand or a big jackpot, that is going to be life changing or, changing of this month or year.
Sure.
It's going to make a huge difference. But yeah, if I go to the casino tonight and I hit a jackpot for $10,000, I don't leave the casino and go, oh my God, I got 10 grand. Let's buy 2 new iPhones. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to go there. I'm going to have lobster tonight. I normally would have just had shrimp. So it's sometimes I say, why am I even getting? I look at it. It's what is the difference it's going to make in my life.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And when you said you were, $10,000 to $20,000 to do a show,
yeah,
I could see where you could certainly start to question: is this a good economic venture, so to speak?
Yeah.
But
like I said, I'm going to gamble anyways. The difference is just, am I playing? And I do enjoy some of the newer machines, like the Locket Links and Lightning Links and stuff like that. But there's some machines I play that I have zero interest to play. And they're boring. But everybody likes something different. Like I said, I love Black Widow. 9 out of 10 of my fans, hate Black Widow. They're probably like, why does he like that game?
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you why that game sucked me in, the way it does. So interesting. I like the web feature and, like some of the stuff, but I don't know. Everybody has a different game that they just really enjoy.
Yeah. No, it's fun to watch. It really is, no matter what you're playing. So another quick question here. This is a good question as well. How do you get the most out of your player club cards? Any advice, the everyday gambler?
One, always use your player's card. I get that question a lot, or people always say, oh, I did better without my player's card in, or the machine does not know if your player's card is in the machine or not in the machine. The machine is going to pay the same. And if you're not using your player's card, you're hurting yourself because a couple of things. One, like my level of play, player's card's very important because at the end of the year, I get a win-loss statement, and you pay taxes based on your wins. So if you're not using your player's card, and all they do, and the casino sends you a notification that says, hey, you had 100 jackpots, $2,000 a jackpot, you had 200,000 in winnings. How do I tell the IRS what my losses are?
Yeah.
So if I don't use a card, it's really dangerous against me. And that's how the casino also gives you your comps. If you go to the casino and you lose $10,000 and you have no player's card in there, the casino's going to go, you didn't lose it. How do we know you lost 10 grand? Because you told us. I see it all the time in casinos. The host or somebody will come up to the host. Oh, I lost this money. And the host goes, no, you didn't. Here's your thing. Oh, I didn't use my card. Well, then how do I know? Well, I'm telling you. Well, that's great, but 100 people told me they lost $1 million today. And our casino didn't see any spike in business.
So if it's not on the player's card, it didn't exist.
Yeah, and that's where they have all their promos. They have drawings and competition. Like when you're playing machines, a lot of times at the lodge, it seems to be the place I get called the most because I play there a lot, so I have a lot of entries. But yeah, when they have like their contests and I've won a couple $100, $500, in drawings, and they randomly are calling names tonight for contests. You need your player's card.
Yeah, so we are.
Yeah, there's no negative using a player's card.
Has anyone asked the Raja for money?
I get a lot of those. people always ask. If the Raja was going to give away money, he's going to let you know he's giving away money or how to get it. I don't even read those comments or just delete them when people write in. I think it's I'll get these ones. You're my final resort. It's like if the amount of time and effort you put into sending me that message. Just get a job or do something. Go to a day place, and work, day labor. When I was growing up, I shoveled driveways, I mowed lawns. People can say there's not a lot of places hiring because of the pandemic. I can tell you right now, if you want to work, you will find a job and you will have money. And especially the ones who send me, I lost all my money gambling. I need money. I can't pay my rent or something. And I'm like, then don't gamble. And that's I have zero respect for anyone who asks for money because they lost it all gambling. Yeah. Like I said, if you're a gambler, gamble responsibly, play responsibly, never play with what you can't afford to lose.
Smart. Good words of advice. So how often do you play, and do you play differently when you're not on a live stream?
So because I am in the casino so often, I definitely do not play. I definitely do not just go to a casino and not play. So I definitely wouldn't be like, hey, tonight I have nothing going on. I'm going to drive to Black Hawk and gamble. If I'm in a casino now, it's because I'm playing, and I would be in a casino a lot less than I already am if I didn't have the show and the content to produce. So like I said, I will always gamble my whole life. I'm pretty positive of that. But I definitely would not. I definitely won't just go to the casino on my own just to start playing just because I have this itch. If I'm going to do that, you'll see me live somewhere.
Exactly. So, man, a lot of great questions from your subscribers. What's the largest single wager you've placed at one time?
Blackjack, I've gone up to like $10,000 a hand.
Really?
Yeah. I just had, even in the Caribbean, I got up to like $6,500 a hand. Had a nice little run on the blackjack table.
Very nice.
So yeah, I mean, blackjack and baccarat, I've had some $5,000-$6,000 hands. The slot machines, $1,250 so far. But eventually, we're gonna get to my Patreon goal is we're gonna get to 1,500 Patreons, and then I'm gonna do the 50 spins at $5,000 a spin for $250,000. So that'll be
huge.
Yeah, it's gonna be the largest live play anyone's ever seen.
With all the new sports betting things coming about, and everybody's trying to get everybody to sign up for their sports betting app, do you bet on sports at all?
That's one thing I do not bet at all on.
Okay.
I don't have I like bets that I know right now who won, who lost. I want to know now. I don't have that 4 hours of waiting, and I mean, I have occasionally. I bet Super Bowls here and there, $100, or
sure,
with friends. Hey, I'll bet you 100. Whatever. But yeah, I'm not. And like I tell people, it's the same thing. Like with my new channel, Raja Makes Money. You can't. If you bet 10 games a day, you're going to lose because you have to win 7 out of 10 games to break even.
Sure.
With the juice and what you pay, and it's just the odds are against you. It's the same thing with the stock market. Like I tell people on Raja Makes Money, if you play 10 stocks a day, you could be the smartest guy in the world, and yeah, you'll have a day all 10 stocks make money, all 10 sports bets win. And then you're gonna get slaughtered and have a day where all 10 lose, and it just doesn't work. It's too much. Nobody's that smart every day of the week.
Yeah, a lot of variables out there for
Pick
sure.
You know well and stick to it. That's why the one game of the year that a bookie doesn't want to do or usually lays it off to Vegas or does something else is the Super Bowl, because there's only one game that day. He can't make money.
Yeah, because that's a good point. I never thought of that. That's a very good point. So what's the craziest thing you've ever requested from one of your casino hosts?
Craziest thing I've ever... God, I don't know. Crazy. I'm pretty easy, so I'm not like... I don't know.
I've traveled with you. I mean, you like they give you the nice suites and the birdcage place.
Different suites and stuff. But yeah, I've never requested anything that I would think is just out of the ordinary crazy. I mean, obviously show tickets or meals or restaurants,
things like that.
But yeah, I've never. There's nothing I could say off the top of my head was like, oh my God, I can't believe I asked my host for this and she gave it to me, or he got it for me.
So you don't make any crazy requests like you want a bowl of M&Ms with all the red M&Ms removed or anything like that? Nothing.
No, nothing like that. Brian at Denver has some crazy stuff. And sometimes I'm embarrassed. I'm like, oh God, here it goes. I'm like, I don't know this guy.
Well, you got to tell us now that you brought it up.
He wants the Japanese soaking tubs, and he wants like extra bath salts, and he wants the soap bombs or something that they put in his tub, and he wants extra the lotion. They got these nice lotions at the Cosmo, so he always wants like double, triple lotion in his bag. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's just like I'm just like, I don't know. Like, he likes
to pamper himself and have that soft and silky skin, I guess. How about when you travel, say to Vegas? What's your favorite restaurant?
I have a lot of restaurants in Vegas. One I really liked a lot that I'm disappointed is closing is Milo's at the Cosmo.
Really?
Yeah. So Milo's is, I don't know if it's COVID or what, but yeah, they're closing down. For a quick meal, I like Hottie B's a lot at the Cosmo for chicken and stuff. Some of my steakhouses I like STK there. Mm-hmm. At Bellagio Prime, I like a lot. They have amazing lobster tail. But I mean, there's so much good food in Vegas. I mean, it's hard. I used to like Joe's Stone Crab a lot at Caesar's Forum Shops.
Can't go wrong.
I still like that. I just unfortunately when I've been playing at Caesar's, I've been going there. But a lot of times, you're at the you never leave the casino.
Yeah.
So it's.
Well, last time I was there, the traffic, there wasn't a whole lot of it out there. So you get around a lot easier these days. I guess this next question is kind of about regrets. What is one thing that you wish you would have done in the past that you didn't do? Any regrets?
I probably had some in relationships with people, and in my personal life and relationships, and some things, and maybe with the kids, maybe with their mother. I mean, when she passed away, I mean, we were separated when the kids were 2 or 3, but maybe there's back 15 years ago, I could have done some different things or had some different stuff, and there's been some relationships since then. A lot of times it's the same thing. When you're miserable in the relationship, you're like, I gotta end it, and then when you look back 5 years later, 10 years later, you're like, maybe that was the right girl for me, or this girl here, or I don't know. But I don't really have anything that I just truly regret, or that I accept responsibility for anything I've done wrong, and I just try and move on and make the best of the next day.
Good question here. See if you remember this. What was the first slot you played that got you hooked?
So when I started playing, I was like 17, 18 years old at Caesar's Palace, or the Sand, or the Dunes and stuff. I really wasn't hooked. It was because back then they were all just 3 reel machines. It was like double diamond or 7. I think it was like 7s, red, white, and blue 7s. They were very boring games back then. But I think the first game that I actually really liked, going back 30 plus years ago, was Triple Diamonds. Yeah, that was like the first game, because I think it was because the math was so big. It was there's the single games, you win 300, 500, 1,000 on $3 bet, but the triple was kind of like, because if you got that triple and anything, it was 9 times your bet.
Wow.
So that was
they certainly the graphics have changed quite a bit, haven't they, over the years? Next question. Is it your own personal money you're gambling, or does someone, for example, YouTube, sponsor you?
No. So it's my own personal money. I know some YouTubers, that are really big get sponsorship when, they give away cars, and, somebody paid for that car. But no, everything I do, YouTube, obviously we earn revenue from.
Sure.
But, no, nobody's sponsoring me. They're like, the casinos invite us. And casinos, may give us, like I said, they may give free play or something like that. But that, at my level, that's what I would get anyways. So it's not, I'm not getting anything extra.
Okay. Yeah, and like I said, it's,
I'm already getting room, and most. So if people ever hear RFB, which is room, food, and beverage, I'm already getting all that comped anyways. Like I said, people have to understand, like, my level of play, it's so large that a casino is going to give you anything you want anyways. It's not like they're going to be, versus, and nothing against those channels, but a channel who's like, I'm going live tonight, I've got $500 that, a lot of those casinos are giving them that 500 because they don't even warrant that much in free play.
Sure.
And they're, being sponsored, and, that's their, they've turned their, lemons into lemonade by gambling and, making a lot of money on YouTube, and they're not gamblers, and that's how they make their money,
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, like I said, the casinos are pretty much maxed out with what they're giving me.
Yeah, short of, maybe come picking you up in a big G6 or something and flying you out there. Maybe you need to ask. Maybe that could be one of your crazy requests.
I told them. I said we could start flying me around.
Exactly. So last question here from the subscribers. Did you graduate from college?
I never went to college. So while I was in high school, I did the culinary school, or through the high school. So I did graduate high school, but I never went on to college. So I guess I completed the college class that I took via high school. It was via the like annex program, that they had there and stuff. But I actually physically never went to a college.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you this question. It's not on the list, but I think hopefully somebody finds it interesting. What drives you? You could probably go sit on a beach, collect some royalties, things like that, things coming in. What drives you every day where you get up and say, I'm just going to keep going?
Yeah, that's a good one. When I was younger, I definitely put in a lot more hours and had a lot more motivation to want to do things.
Yeah.
But as I'm getting older, I still enjoy working. Like I'm one of these people where I could afford to retire, but I'd just be bored. I wouldn't know what to do. Like I enjoy doing stuff. Maybe if I met the right person and I was like, oh, it's time to settle down, or but I'd still be traveling and I love traveling. So and that was one thing with the Big Jackpot, especially especially now it's been a little affected. But we had Australia we were planning on going to, and some really nice trips. I love traveling, so I mean, I've been all over Asia. I still want to hit Central America, Brazil, South Africa, there's in Africa. I mean, there's so much more stuff to see that I haven't seen yet. So it's I love traveling, so it's kind of worked out well with the Big Jackpot because we could tie it into casinos, and like when I did Singapore, I've done Singapore a couple of times. We did Macau. But yeah, I would just be bored. Like if I didn't have, I always tell people, I'm retiring or I'm going to retire. I'm like, what are you going to do? Like, you're just going to be bored. I've never met a person that 100% retired early that I think was satisfied. I mean, unless they inherited their money or they were just so lazy to begin with. But I mean, if you're a go-getter and you're a hustler and you've made your money, you're always going to do something. Even Bill Gates, he's stepped down from Microsoft, or he's not running it, but he has his foundation, he's doing vaccination. It's not like he's retired. He's maybe retired, So even if I was, to step away or I was retired from, bars and restaurants or something, I'd always be doing something. I just couldn't sit still. The other thing is not like and by owning these things, it's not like I physically have to go to them 7 days a week or I mean, you're obviously involved in operations, but one thing is I always said is pay people well, and the nice thing is they don't quit on you, and you have reliable staff that stays with you for a long time. They make money, they make me money, and you don't have to worry about that. And stuff. So yeah, it's definitely I'd be bored if I had nothing going on in my life.
Yeah, a lot of people that they do retire, they usually pass away shortly after that because they have nothing to keep them going anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I enjoy doing stuff. I would be bored. I honestly depend. Here's the thing: if I ever had any thought about retiring, the first 9-week full shutdown of the pandemic proved to me I'm not retiring, or I'm always going to be doing something in my life because it was that bad.
It was that bad. That was tough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the 2020 recap, and looking forward to the 2021 for the Big Jackpot. Anything else you want to tell anybody before we head out?
Yeah, I got to ask you because I remember when you were starting. I remember we were in not Thailand.
Yeah, it was Thailand.
Was it? No, not Thailand. It was. Where's our first stop that trip?
Oh my gosh! Was it Taiwan?
Taiwan. We were in Taiwan, and you come out with a
drone.
I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm going to start a YouTube channel.
Well, you inspired me to do that. So
and congratulations, because that's what I was going to say. I was looking around here, and I see that you have 100,000 subscribers on your channel now, Crime Talk.
Yeah, we passed that. We're I think right about 164,000.
Wow!
So
you got to slow down here to pass me.
Well, I don't know about that, but it'd be nice.
Any big cases or?
Well, the big case going on right now is the case out in Idaho with Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, who are accused of basically killing her kids and disposing of them, and they wound up dead on her new husband's property, and she married him.
They did find the kids.
They found the kids on her new husband's property. And her new husband, they got married 2 weeks after his wife had passed away, who was relatively healthy up until that time. So lots of twists and turns. You never know where it's going to go, and some interesting lawyering taking place, and not in the good way. So
it's going to be. Well, yeah. Everybody watching too, guys. If you haven't checked out Crime Talk, make sure you do. Those murder mysteries.
I appreciate that. It wouldn't have happened but for you saying, hey, I think there's this case up in Greeley. People may be interested in that. I'm like, who wants to hear what I have to say? And you're like, oh, you should go ahead and do it. And I remember it was a couple years ago at Christmas, about this time, suddenly I'm like getting 15,000 subscribers a day. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So thank you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been possible without you. I probably wouldn't have done it. Like, what do I know about YouTube? So thank you.
It's fun. It's a whole another animal out here.
That it is. It's like you said about the comments. No matter what you do or say, somebody's going to not like it.
They're never happy. Like I said, you have to have tough skin, and it's part of life. But definitely, guys, and everyone, 2020 has been rough. I think 2021 is going to start out a little rough because we're still in shutdowns, and vaccinations won't really roll out fully until April, May, June, it sounds like. But hey, wishing everyone the best of 2021. Hopefully, it's going to be a lot better. And pursue your dreams, follow your dreams. If it's being on YouTube, being on Facebook, social media, opening a new business, this is a great time to try something because you have nothing to lose. Go for it. Nobody ever thought the whole world would ever shut down. So you know what? Nobody's ever going to fault you for trying something new. But
absolutely,
give it your best.
Go for it. Well, happy holidays and happy New Year. And I think 2021 is going to be better for just about everyone.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get much worse.
That's true.
We've already experienced 9 weeks plus another 7 here of shutdown, so
it's
only up from here.
I almost hate to say what could possibly go wrong, but we'll just have to wait and see.
All right.
So, all right.
Great.
Thanks.
All right.